Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the January 5th edition of the Carolina weather video here. Lots and lots of cold air and, of course, the potential for at least a little bit of snow around the region coming up. I'll get into all that here as we go through the video. Let's start with temperatures this morning. These are the 5 a.m. temperatures and just a lot of really cold air in a lot of places. You have double digits below zero this morning for actual temperatures in Iowa, up in the parts of Minnesota. Single-digit temperatures as far south as Missouri and much of Illinois. And you're looking at teens for temperatures this morning, all the way from Jackson, Mississippi, up through Birmingham and Atlanta, and up into parts of the Piedmont zones of the Carolinas. Here's our watch and advisory products this morning. And in the North Carolina mountains, you have winter weather advisories and even a winter storm warning in some spots due to upslope snows coming today and into tonight. And these counties, back into parts of the Mid-South and the Missouri Boot Hill up into southern Illinois and Indiana, those are winter storm watches in advance of the next system, which is going to be dropping in and spreading precip into that area within the next 36 hours. Now, these are temperatures, forecast high temperatures today. And again, you're looking at 30s for highs in a lot of the deep south up through the Carolinas, single digits and teens up in the northern plains and the western Great Lakes. And in relation to average, just another way below average temperature day with teens below average for temperatures in a lot of places for those high temps today. So this is just a very impressive, sustained blast of cold air. Let's get to the modeling. This is the 6C run of the GFS. A cold day today. Now, I mentioned the upslope snows in the North Carolina mountains and the mountains of the Virginias as well. As that disturbance pivots through, could see a few snow flurries around the Piedmont of North Carolina today. Not a big deal. Moisture extremely limited. And really what most folks will just simply see is some cloud cover moving on through. Highs in the 30s today. Again, another night tonight with lows in many spots through the Piedmont and the upstate. And down into parts of North Georgia into the upper teens. Another cold night tonight. Here comes the next system, though. This is valid 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. The system diving down through the Rockies. Let's go out a day later. And at that point in time, you've seen the precip fall in those areas that are under winter storm watch there, Arkansas and Missouri. This is 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon. The precip that has fallen between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. Thursday. And again, this is the rough estimation of a rain-snow line. That's not exact, but gives you a general idea. And so that would be indicating on the GFS here anything that falls from Jackson, Mississippi to Montgomery, Alabama, and points north would be in the form of snow. And this still looks like a decent little shot of some snow for north and central Mississippi and Alabama. How much snow is still a question mark, but it could be a nice little 1 to 3 inch snowfall, maybe a couple 4-inch amounts mixed in there somewhere for parts of Mississippi and Alabama. From there, the precip slowly advances eastward through North Georgia, and it tries to move into the Carolinas. Now, well, what this really is essentially a cold front pressing through. The flow aloft sort of remains out of the west here across the Carolinas, and that's just not a good flow pattern to get accumulating snow in the lee of the Appalachians here from South Carolina, northeast Georgia, up into much of central and western North Carolina. So what we'll probably see happen Thursday is a lot of cloud cover and could be some light snow push across central parts of North Carolina down into the upstate and northeast Georgia. But it just doesn't look like a good chance of accumulating snow, or at least significant accumulating snow with this due to the nature of the track of this system. The main disturbance tracking off to our north, like I mentioned, this is essentially a cold front. So sure, could see some light snow, maybe a couple snow showers, but I think the potential for any type of accumulation, say, for the I-85 corridor, is probably anything above a dusting. The chance of accumulation is pretty low. So the chance of accumulating snow with this is pretty low, but we'll watch it. Sometimes you get surprises with systems like this, and it could be that light snow extending all the way to the coast of the Carolinas as this system moves through. And this is going to usher in another big blast of cold air, another huge Arctic high back in the northern plains. It'll give us another very significant blast of cold air Friday and the weekend. In fact, it may be a little colder than the current shot of cold air we've been seeing. Now, let's go back. I want to show you this was what the GFS was depicting way back. This was the 6Z run on New Year's Eve. At that point in time, it had a very powerful, not a powerful, I suppose, but a decent Gulf of Mexico low pressure area that then lifted up off the Carolina coast, spread a nice swath of snow in that area. The reason that transpired, and I'm just showing this for learning purposes as we go forward, this is what, again, this is back the 6Z run on New Year's Eve. It had the disturbance diving way to the south through the lower Mississippi Valley. Now here's what is this was valid at 6Z Thursday, 1 a.m. Thursday morning. Now let me show you what the GFS is indicating for the same time frame with the latest run. And obviously that disturbance is much, much farther northward. That's why the idea that was on the table of maybe some decent accumulating snow up the I-85 corridor looks much less likely now. Now let's go back again. New Year's Eve run, 0Z, this was the European. What it was showing for 7 a.m. Thursday morning, and here's what the current run of the European shows for 7 a.m. Thursday morning. So the European obviously did a much better job with the placement. There's the run from New Year's Eve, current run of the European. Compare that to the New Year's Eve run of the GFS and the latest run. So the European did a much better job overall, at least from that New Year's Eve time frame, of handling how this system will unfold. We need to keep that in our minds as we go ahead in time. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead now to the current modeling. This is the GFS again, Friday, 1 p.m. Another big blast of cold air moves in. This is going to be a very significant shot of cold air. There's Saturday, there's Sunday. Now notice a little moisture building off the coast. I want to show you this just to throw that out there. This is the European valid 12Z, 7 a.m. Sunday morning rather. So 7 a.m. Sunday morning. And what it does, it has a nice little piece of energy that dives down on the backside of the disturbance that pivots through Thursday. And it tries to consolidate that here across Georgia. And it's a little too far east to really give any decent precip, but something you need to keep an eye on for maybe the coastal part of the Carolinas. Wouldn't take much westward trending to see some little fun developments for Sunday. But taken verbatim, everything is dry across the region over the weekend. All right, then we look out to the next potential system. This is the GFS, 7 p.m. Wednesday of next week, the 13th. The Canadian, showing a system pulling through Wednesday of next week. So maybe that's the next time frame to watch for a system to pull through. And looking down the line, GFS has another system, the 16th, and a lot of cold air still around. So there's going to be some relaxation of the extreme cold at some point here over the next couple weeks. In fact, we probably pop up toward the low to mid 40s for highs by Monday and Tuesday. But still, overall, I think it's a pretty cold pattern, at least through the 15th to 20th of January. So cold air to continue, and I know it's frustrating. And look, I understand. For folks that are wanting to get this snow, it's tough. We've had a lot of cold air around and just no major storm systems. I feel your frustration. I understand. And so we'll just have to see if we can get something to develop for us here as we go ahead in time here over the next couple weeks. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day today, and God bless.